We're with Richard Wahlquist, who is the CEO of the American Staffing Association and also a member of the board of our partner Ciett. And we will talk with him about skills and the role of the private and the partnership with the private and public employment services. Richard, we've been talking this morning a lot about skills. We heard that people who are caught up in a skills, low skills equilibrium might end up with long-term unemployment, might end up with jobs that are not adequate. So it's a lot about upskilling, a lot about training people to get better skills, to make a change on the labor market, to get the right job. What, in your view, is the role that the private world can play in upskilling people?
The most important role that the private sector can play is actually working in partnership with the government and the public sector, with educational institutions, because the big crisis that we are facing in so many parts of the world today is a skills gap, a skills shortage. And as we look at the demographic trend lines and some of the economic studies that talk about how many jobs are going to be made redundant by technology over the next 10 and 20 years, we're on a collision course with success, if you will, and we're facing a dilemma where we are not going to have enough skilled workers to meet the needs of companies and countries to continue economic growth. So for all of us, I think that we're going back to things that were likely done a number of years ago. Certainly pre-recession, there was more focus on companies hiring talent that was trainable and considering making an investment in that talent. And we're seeing that again. We're seeing the companies do it on their own accord and in relationship in the United States with community colleges and vocational schools, because one of the things that I think we've begun to identify all over the world is that not everybody is going to need a college education and a college degree to succeed in the future world of work, but they are going to have marketable skills. And as we have suggested in the session that we had this morning, job security is now being defined not by who you're working for, but by the job skills that you possess and the extent to which they are in need in the markets in which you live at the current time. And we know that those are going to change. So as we look at people in careers, we're now looking, instead of career ladders, we're looking at career lattices, where people become multitaskers over the course of their career lives as technology changes and as the world of work changes.
Thank you very much. One of our main drivers is to say and to understand that public employment services cannot meet the challenges of the modern world of work alone, but we need to do that in partnerships. That also applies to the differentiation of skills and to the upskilling of job seekers and to getting the mindset of skills out there in general. What is your view on partnerships between public and private? What would you recommend or send out as a message to our viewers, the public employment services, to improve partnerships with the private world?
So on the one hand, we have this looming skills gap, but at the same time, we've got data that suggests that 38% of the jobs that are currently listed as open in the world are going unfilled. We need to make a better match of the existing talent, and so we need to work even more closely together. We need to have better transparency around our databases, around who's hiring, and even a closer sense of collaboration on helping employers, the end users, actually rework and rethink job descriptions. In many cases, we're using job descriptions that have been on the books for 5 or 10 years, and they screen out a lot of good candidates. But I think that the real message is the Ciett organization that I represent and the 50 united federations in countries around the world and our corporate members are absolutely aligned with WAPES. We have the same mission, and that's matching talent with opportunity. The more aligned we are, the more success we're going to have in making that match. And beyond that, I think, sharing best practices around the kind of counseling that we can do together and independently to make people more employable, to make sure that we're doing the kind of resume counseling and career counseling that sometimes folks take for granted because they've had exposure to job markets and to the world of work in a way that so many of the unemployed and the long-term unemployed never had.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for your time, and we're looking forward to the closer cooperation of Ciett and WAPES. Thank you. Thank you.